What's up? Oh God, I can already tell it's going to be a bad hair day for me today. It's windy, and every time I record these videos I notice just how crazy my hair is. I need to get a haircut. Anyway, it's not that important. So I wanted to talk today about something that I'm really excited about. This is something that for so many years I completely ignored. It was a mechanism, a technique, a subject that I just completely ignored for the vast majority of my life. In fact, I thought it was a weakness as opposed to a strength. And now that I've learned otherwise and harnessed it to bring me closer to my goals, I see just how powerful this mechanism is. And the mechanism I'm talking about is emotions as a corrective mechanism. What I mean by that is we experience emotions. And, you know, if you're like me, some days you're feeling really motivated and excited about what you're doing. Other days you're, really down, depressed, struggling to get out of bed or feel inspired. Or sometimes, you in one day you're experiencing all of these different emotions, and you feel scattered and sort of lost and unsure what the right way to feel is. And for the longest time, I thought that emotions were just something that got in the way. Like, if maybe you've felt that way in the past as well, I think a lot of us guys do, is we feel that emotions are something that women feel, that they just kind of get in the way, and we don't want to feel bad, so we just kind of shut down and try and numb ourselves to the way that we're feeling. But I want to propose to you a different way of viewing emotions, and that is the corrective mechanism. Think of it like this. We have an internal compass. You can call that your conscience, you can call that, an internal compass. We all have one that is pointing at something or multiple things. And when we have a goal, and neuroscience backs this up, when we have a goal, our emotions essentially tell us whether we're moving towards that goal or away from that goal, or whether we're heading in slightly the wrong direction and we need to course correct. And this can be really powerful, but it also can be a real problem when we haven't calibrated our internal compass correctly, when we haven't calibrated our conscious, when we haven't picked the right goal to go towards. Then the emotions that we're feeling are going to be guiding us in the wrong direction. They're going to be guiding us in a way that is unhelpful and pulling us in a direction that leads us to something that we don't actually want. Or at least that is, we might subconsciously want, but consciously when we arrive at that destination, we're very unhappy with where we've arrived. So I wanted to talk about this and to point out, if you haven't thought of it this way, just how powerful it can be if you calibrate your internal compass correctly. Now, there's a process to doing that. I won't go into that in this video. If you want to learn how to do that, I actually have a free community. You can check out the link to that in my channel description, and I might even put it in the description below. But today I just wanted to talk about the theme. So the way that it works, we essentially experience all of the time a push-pull where we're either afraid of something, so we're running away from something, and we're running towards something. We're being, essentially, you think of fear and anxiety, or no, actually not anxiety, but fear, as the thing that is pushing you away from something that you do not want. And you think of positive emotion, joy, happiness, that sense of accomplishment as the emotion that is pulling you towards what you want. So fear away from what you don't want, and joy and happiness towards what you do want. The problem is that most of the time we're not actually being intentional about how we harness these emotions. We're not being intentional about how we harness this mechanism. And therefore, we're just either completely scattered, or, as I said before, you're going towards the wrong goal. Your emotions are pushing and pulling you towards the wrong thing. And let's say your goal is, you want to be, a nice easy one that I think a lot of us guys want is, we want to be millionaires, right? We want to have financial freedom, financial abundance. And when you've set in your mind that goal, what your brain does, what your subconscious does, is it starts to look for opportunities and look for pathways towards that goal. And how you know that you're finding those pathways is those pathways will beckon to you with curiosity. So you'll feel, you'll be interested in exploring an avenue. And what you'll experience when you're going in the wrong direction is you'll start to feel anxious, you'll start to feel depressed potentially, you're unmotivated. And so these emotions that we experience, they're there for a very specific reason. And it is to guide us towards our objective. So the first step is then, therefore, of course, to calibrate the compass correctly, right? Pick a goal that you consciously choose. And you choose your goal consciously, you embed it into your subconscious, and then your emotions start to guide you towards that goal. Because the thing is that the way that we see the world is, we don't see a whole jumble of facts and objects. The way that our perception works is we see the world in one of three categories. We see tools, so things that are going to help us towards the objective. We see pathways, so ways towards that goal. And we see obstacles, things that are going to get in our way. And you can see the same object in a different light, as in a different one of those categories, depending on what your goal is. So let's say, for example, and this is something that I learned from Jordan Peterson, who understands human psychology on an incredibly deep level. So here's the thing. Let's say you're looking at a chair. Now, a chair is a chair if you want to sit down, right? But then a tree stump becomes essentially a chair. It turns into that tool if your goal is to find somewhere comfortable to sit. Now, let's say you're trying to get out a door. There's a fire in the room you're in, you're trying to escape, and a chair is blocking you, right? It's in the way. That's no longer a chair. You're actually no longer perceiving it as a chair. You're perceiving it as an obstacle, an obstruction for you to achieve your goal, which is to exit the room. So this is really powerful. If you understand what that actually means, then you can start to shape the way that you use your emotions. You start to shape the way that you utilize your perception in order to make it easier to get towards your goal. It's super powerful. And once you've established the goal that you really want, so let's say it's, start a business, or get your business to $1 million in revenue a year, whatever it is. Let's say it's that. All of a sudden, when that becomes a deep-seated goal, an objective in your subconscious, then your emotions start to reflect that pursuit. And so when that's your goal, all of a sudden, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling unhappy, a lot of the time, that can then mean that you're going off course, or you're not doing the things that on a subconscious level are going to bring you towards achieving that goal. And so all of a sudden, you can start to interpret your emotions correctly. You can realize that, okay, I'm feeling anxious now. I'm feeling afraid, or I'm unhappy. And you go, okay, right, so that must mean that I'm not doing the things that I should be doing and need to be doing in order to achieve my goal. And likewise, you start to have this positive reinforcement when you're moving towards your goal and you're starting to progress in that direction. You're going to start feeling good. You're going to start feeling motivated, inspired, energized, all of these positive emotions, because your subconscious recognizes that you are in fact moving closer to your goal. And so you can start to see that as, oh, I must be doing the right things here, or oh, I need to do something else here because I'm not feeling the way that I should be feeling. I just think it's such a powerful reframing of what emotions are. And it just requires us to be very intentional about setting the goal first and foremost, and then being able to observe our emotions and to recognize that our emotions are simply signals that our body is giving us to help guide us to what we want. And yeah, I think it's really powerful. I know that if you utilize this, it's going to make it so much easier for you to get to reach your goals. And it'll also make it so you're less confused, you're less conflicted, because now when you've established that clear direction, that clear goal, all of a sudden your emotions align in the pursuit of that, and you're no longer sort of going in one direction and then changing course and you're no longer all over the place. So yeah, I find it fascinating. I find it really powerful. I hope you do too. If you want help to train your subconscious in that way, like I said, I've got a community to help you do that in pursuit of freedom in business and entrepreneurship for men like you, like me, who are working to create something really amazing in life and for ourselves. So check that out if you're interested. Link is in the bio. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like and subscribe. It really helps get this video to more people. Helps me out, of course, I benefit. But really I want to get these messages, these tools in front of as many guys as possible, because I know there are a lot of guys out there like you potentially, certainly like me in the past, who are feeling lost and confused and need tools like this to help guide them towards the life of their choosing. All right, can't wait to see you in the next one. Till then, peace.